Welcome, Hades here, and in this video I want to continue where I left off with the leg anatomy video and dive into feet. I myself am not too great with feet, however I have been practicing and I've been using Will Weston's notes and Taco's notes and some other stuff, and yeah, I think I've improved my knowledge of drawing feet and all these little tricks and stuff. So over the past week or so, I've just been drawing feet, seeing how I could simplify even more. When it comes to it, this is the shape. This is the essential foot shape that you want to learn. Yeah, this is the shape that you want to learn because, I don't know, for me feet, the perspective with them is quite difficult, but with this, you don't really have to think about the toes and stuff like that. You just think of, okay, the foot does this, does that. The toes are like a triangle. You've got this, and then there's just a slight direction here. You've got this sloping down. This comes out. You don't know this pattern, right? And over time, well, when I'm drawing feet, I just think of this shape. I don't even care about toes or anything. Right, but I did practice how to draw toes. But I mean, when I'm drawing, normally I don't draw toes, but I thought I'd just practice it anyway. I like the way this one came out. One thing I did learn to emphasize at least is overlaps with feet. That really helps sell the depth. So for instance here, we've got this T-line, right? That really helps sell some depth. And of course it comes down to what style you want to get into. And for me, this is it. That is what I really think about. And here is just, I was just drawing the toes just because. Okay, but for those of you who may have you probably studied boxes or whatnot, and the world of shape is still a bit new. What I do like is Taco's simplification of the foot. Right, and so what we've got here, look, this is the basic form of the foot, right? So you've got the inside, got the top, outside, and bottom, and then you got the back. It's as simple as that. Although I don't like drawing this, it does, at least like in your head, you've got an idea of the basic planes of the foot. However, I would encourage you to learn this shape. Just learn the shoe shape. And that will go a long way. There's other stuff that I think about too, that I wrote down, so I don't forget to mention it. But yes, so understand these forms: top plane, inside, outside, back, and top. Right, and then you can see that the toes aren't on there. The toes are like extra. You just think of them as being enclosed in like a triangle. That helps a lot. So yeah, that's the basic form. Another thing you want to take note of is, so I found this on Pinterest, and if you can break the foot down into this, I think that's pretty much all you need to know about the anatomy of the foot. And reason being is, so you see where it's red here, right? That's good to know. Okay, so for instance, we've got this, right? So that red part is just kind of telling me where the bend of the foot happens, right? So it's around here. And then this part of the foot, well, let me find a better one. Right, you want to know where the ball of the foot is, right down here. All right, because when the foot is in this position, we're going to see the bend at that point, right? And then the part in yellow, just stays as it is, right? It doesn't really move. So the back part of the foot, you do want to keep in mind that, the heel, it does stick out right? It's not just straight, right? So it comes out, right? It's not just a straight line. Although, you know, depending on your style, maybe you might want to do that. But in terms of the actual anatomy, it like goes in and then out, okay? Just like a shoe, right? So again, another reason why you should just learn the shoe shape, right? If you look at shoes, you have all this in mind. Okay, so the next thing I want to mention is if you're drawing the bottom of the foot, it is quite useful. Oh yeah, so speaking of the shoe shape, right, you've got some nice reference here. I mean, this is just different perspectives, but if you can learn this, that's going to be way more valuable to you than learning the individual bones and whatnot. Because in most cases, your characters are wearing some kind of footwear, and even if they're not, that shape will still help you a lot, because you know where. Well, once you got the shape down, it's easy to fill it in. Right, so if you want to add toes and whatever, that won't be as hard to do once you've got that shape down. Okay, so here's the shape I was looking for. So this shape you also want to learn, right? The shape of the sole of the foot, right? It's a very recognizable shape, right? I mean, if you had that shape just on its own somewhere, I think most people would look at that and say, oh, that's the sole of the foot. Okay, so it's useful for well, also establishing the perspective, right? Because if you can see that, then we know we're looking at the bottom of the foot. So yeah, keep that in mind, right? I like to, oh, use my pen. I like to draw that shape when I have the bottom of the foot, but not normally, just as I've been doing these anatomy studies. And again, you just gotta remember style. Right, so you don't have to be too accurate. I'm kind of just guessing the general shape. Right, so just remember that shape. Right, so refer to this. So whenever you got the bottom of the foot in view, draw this as you practice. So yes, keep that shape in mind. What else do I want to mention? Oh, speaking of the sole of the foot, yeah, Taco's notes they're just so good. I've learned so much about feet from looking at these. Oh, here's a good one. Just to recognize the shape of the foot. Right, so it's like a triangle. If you start from the heel, the two sides go away from each other. Okay, so as you can see, if you're drawing the foot from a back view, we'd see the pinky toe side, but we wouldn't really see the big toe side. Okay, you can see Taco showing that in the bottom right corner. Yes, the other thing I wanted to mention, again, depends on style. If you look at the sole of the foot, right, you can kind of think of it as being as there being like three pads, right, excluding the toes, of course. So if I go to one of mine, we'll go back here. So I look at that, and then actually the one on the left is more clearer. But you know, you've got like a pad here. There's another pad, and then another pad, and then in between it's I guess it's not as fleshy compared to 1, 2, and 3. And I think between 1 and 2, 1 is more fleshy, as in the one on the big toe side. If you can maybe show a separation, like I have here. Alright, so I'm showing the separation between 1 and 2. Okay, but not important, but if you want to learn more about the anatomy and whatnot, that's useful to know. Okay, you can even see, like, when we're looking at the foot in this view, in the bottom left, we can see the contour or the shape of those pads. What else? Oh, here's another useful thing. So this is going to be about the toes, so we'll talk about the toes for a second. Okay, so when you're drawing the toes, obviously the big toe is the largest of them, right? So the toe holes, if you want to call it that. You can see the shape that they make, right? It's not just a parallel rectangle opening sort of thing like you see on the left, right? You can see there's like a peak that's like between the biggest and the second biggest toe, right? So if you remember that when you're drawing toes, just make sure the big toe has a large opening, and then you kind of gradually make them smaller as you go, something along those lines. So speaking of toes, so how does one draw toes? Right, so it really isn't that difficult. So I actually looked at Western. So as you can see here, the toes are like you can think of them as like stairs. Right, see what I've done? What I've done here? It's like from side view, you've got like the top, then it goes down, and it goes like that. That'd be the big toe. Right, I think very easy shape to remember, right? And it is a stylization, right? Obviously, not everyone has this sort of steep step on their toes, but it is very useful. Honestly, it is very, very, very useful to learn it this way, right? So as I drew from this angle, stair step, and then what you'll notice also is I forgot what I was going to say. All right, yeah. So you notice that like these are all like straights, right? And that's where it's more bony. Whereas on the underside, right, I've got more curves, right? And that's where it's more, we've got our toe pads. It's more fleshy there. So yeah, very easy. Just do stair step. You can even do it with fingers as well. You'll see artists do that. And then you'll have overlap. We'll do a hand video. I really need to study hands. This is a big toe, okay? And then for the smaller toes, you can group them into one shape on the row, all right? And they also have that stair-stepping shape. So I've demonstrated that here. So you've got the first one after the big toe, and then you've got the next one, right? And it sits behind it. And then the next one sits behind that, and the next one sits behind that. Right, and I've just got this stair-stepping just going on, but I'm just making it smaller. All right, so it really isn't too difficult to draw toes. Yeah, so I don't really draw toes typically. I might draw them sometimes just because I feel like it. But again, well, I've done it here as well. Learn the shoe shape. Okay, super useful, essential, absolutely essential. It might be weird to draw, but hopefully I've gathered some references from a bunch of different angles, so we can study that in a moment. Yeah, so the last thing I want to mention is, so again, I want to mention like overlap and T-lines, right? So it's actually right here in Weston's notes. So you see over here where my mouse is, see these overlaps? Right, that really helps cell depth. So let's find where I've done that, and then I'll highlight it. So here, for instance, do you see the T-line right on the toe? Right, got a T-line right there. And so what that does, it just helps cell depth. Okay, so sometimes even if there isn't a real separation on the foot, I'll still try and find a way to just like cheat a T-line somehow. And for me personally, I think it ends up looking better had I not done that. So again, so we've got a T-line here. Right, and this, the reason I did the T-line here was because I kind of want to show, actually I did the wrong way around, but either way, you've got like the ball joint with the big toe, right, which is I guess somewhere around here, and it sticks out. Not for everyone, but it will stick out. And so it's kind of nice to show an overlap. Let's see if I can find a better example of that. Well, I can show this at least. Again, that same overlap. Right, T-line. Okay. See, this is the inside foot over here, right? It's on the outside, it's more flat. We can't see it here. Right? It's mostly straight, but on the inside, you know, it goes in. Right, so let me show you. Okay, so see this yellow area, right? It goes in. Right, so I've even exaggerated that somewhere here, yeah. Right, that's my bad. Right, the inside foot goes in. Right, I'm really trying to emphasize stuff and just design it. Right, but on the outside, it's, like I said, it's more or less straight. So, from this view, I can create a T-line, right, to show that depth, but there's a gap in there. So, T-line right here. Right, even as I did this, right, I didn't do a straight line. I kind of cheated a T-line here. There's one here, and then the next line, I did that. Right, so it's like this, and like this. Right, so there's an overlap. Right, it's not really there, but I just cheat it, and it just looks better. And I learned that from other artists. Where else have we got T-lines? Oh, okay. This is going to be an important one. So in this view, right, I always do this. So this is the top of the foot that does that, and then I always draw a line from behind it, right, for the toes. Okay, so I don't go down and then start my line over here. I don't do that. I draw my line, and then from behind it, I wrap around to the toes, right? And again, it's a very nice T-line to remember. Right, I do that a lot. Right, I've done it here. It might not be too obvious. Very subtle here, but I have done it. Oh yeah, here you can see clearly. Right, so front of foot does that. And I'll show you in reference why I do that. So yeah, one thing you notice is that not too many foot shapes that you need to learn, fortunately. Feet are expressive, but not as expressive as hands. So if you can learn a handful of positions, you'll be good. Yeah, multi-lines. Right, T-line there. Here I could do a T-line as well if I wanted to, but I didn't. And there's one thing I like to do that I learned from Taco as well, is between the big toe and the rest of the toes, right? Right. This is how I think of the toes. It's like big toe and the others. Okay, but between them, big toe and second biggest toe, you have this gap. You have this triangle, which I like to draw sometimes. It's kind of cool. I've done it here. I've done it here as well. It's just a triangle. I just think it looks cool. You don't have to do it. And you'll notice that I don't really draw the toes like in detail. Right, rarely. I only did it like once, I think, up. Where did I do it? Somewhere here, right? Yeah, I did it here. I did it there. I don't draw these lines and stuff. So if I want to make my E look more realistic, what I do is just I might just do the one big toe, and then for the rest of them I just do a contour. You'll find a lot of helpful stuff. Almost all the stuff I'm using here is from Taco. The only thing I'm using from Wilson is how to draw the toes. And so remember, for me personally, learning the shoe shape is the most essential rather than the exact anatomy. And then you can break that shoe shape into this, and you're good. So there was one more. Oh yeah, so you see the sole, the shape of the sole of the foot, like for a whole shoe, that is, right? That's also useful to learn. There is another one, I just can't find it. There it is. Okay. The shape of the sole of the foot, learn that shape. Okay. So, yeah, I mentioned before, when it comes to anatomy, I'm not really concerned about super detailed stuff. I'm more concerned about the shape. Right, because the shape is going to tell us how to draw it. And, you know, design it and whatnot. Just keep things simple. That's how I like to do things. Also, this is pretty useful for those of you who are coming from boxes, right? If you're having trouble drawing this shape, right, the shape of the sole of the shoe, you can follow this step here, right, and that'll help the perspective if you need it. But okay, so let's move on and start drawing. So what I'll do is I'm going to draw over the photo, right? So you can, well, if you got this reference pack, yeah, just do this with me and draw over. Right, find the simple forms. Right, find the shapes that I was talking about. Yeah, let's just start. I'm talking too much. Okay. Alright, so this is what I would have done if I was studying feet in the past. But now I just draw it on the side. Well, if you're starting out, I'd recommend you do a breakdown first and then draw it on the side. Okay, so well, let's just draw an outline. Right, I'm not doing any slow sort of tracing. Right, I'm trying to find long lines. Okay. So again, I'm looking for the division of those shapes. Right, I'm not being too careful. Alright, got a T-line there. Might be hard to see, but... And for the toes, I'm gonna just do that. Okay. And then we've got that division right there. And then that's it after my breakdown. Okay, so shape. This is shape 1. This is shape 2. Shape 3. Okay, nice and simple. Okay, and then I'll do the other foot as well. So you can see I'm being loose. I'm not trying to be super accurate, right? As long as I get the right idea, the general idea. That's all you need, right? Okay, so got my breakdown. And now I will draw on the side. So, oh yeah, so one thing I forgot to mention is, which I mentioned in my my leg video, but the ankles, right? The inside is higher than the outside. Okay, so this is inside, that's outside. Right, and then from a front view, it's just the opposite. Okay, inside, outside. Okay, now let's draw it. Okay, so having this in place really helps me. Right, like I have the heel, then I go into the top of the foot, and into the toes. And that's something I learned in force drawing. Okay, and then just quickly do a clean up pass. One thing I should mention is like the way I'm drawing the heels, I do like to square them off, right? I think that'll be a bit more useful in terms of perspective, rather than like a more rounded shape for the heels. But again, you can do what you like. Okay, and then we'll draw the other one. All right, I'm not being too careful or anything, just being loose. Okay, so we'll just call that study done. First one's not always great. Let's just move it. Okay, so front view this time. So in front view, not much going on. You just have to keep in mind about that the angle, right? Inside is higher than outside. And overlaps, right? So I got the ball of the foot. For me, it's like it's overlapping. I don't know, whatever you'd call that part of the foot. So basically, if this is the ball of the foot over there, then I'll draw it like that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, let's draw it. Let's do a breakdown. So this person, the angles don't really stick out too much, on the inside at least. But if you're drawing it, don't be afraid to exaggerate if you like. There's even another overlap over there, where the toe is. And then the other foot would just be the same thing. Right, it is in shadow, it's a bit hard to see. All right, breakdown done. And so let's redraw. Right, super tight angle. Just gonna make that smaller. Very hard to see the edge, the back, but so remember that triangle I mentioned earlier? Let's put it in. All right, it does a lot, right? Just drawing that negative space. Right. So it's really hard to see the separation of on the hill there, but you just do your best. I hope you can see the T-line that you can make there. I haven't really drawn it well, So we've got like the toe is like it's like doing this sort of. Well, let me zoom in. Right, it's like this and this. That T. I hope it's clear. Okay, let's get rid of these and just move on. Okay, now we have side view. Okay, let's break down. Alright, so notice how the toes can just be, you can just fit them into a triangle. Right, this is a triangle right here. Yeah. That's what I have over there. Okay, so I really am just drawing the shape of this shoe. Right, so then where the shoe goes, right, you've got this like a saddle sort of shape. Right, and then on the other side that we can't see, you'd have that. It's like a, saddle, Pringle, whatever you want to call it. And then you got the top of the shoe. You got your toe box. And then don't forget that the heel sticks out, right? Not just perfectly straight. So you might be able to see that. And you're pretty much done. Shoe shape. So learn this. Okay, so over there, so we got this for the front of the foot, and then again, I still draw a line from behind it, right, like that. So I've got my T over there. So the ankle doesn't move much, right? This just stays here. The rest of the foot moves around it. So that sole shape that I mentioned, it's kind of hard to draw, right, for this angle, but we'll try. Right, and if it's not perfect, I don't mind. It's fine. So as long as I got the outside shape looking good, then I know it will read as a foot. Okay, let's redraw. So again, it is quite hard to draw. Okay, let's clean up a bit. Okay, that'll do. Yeah, the underside of the foot, pretty tough. But again, I know I've got the outside shape. That reads clear, so. I kind of messed the perspective. Let's fix that. Yeah, still feels. We'll just do it like that. Since we already did this angle, I think I'll leave it just for the sake of time. So we'll just do this one. And again, pretty tough. So you can kind of see the back, the heel of the foot from this angle. Very hard to pull off. And again, that triangle. Or even though the toes are doing whatever, just, you don't worry about it, unless you want to. Okay. All right, moving on. Okay, so we got on the ball of the foot, but inside view this time. Alright, again, I'm not going to do this on. Again, I hope you notice I'm doing this. Right, drawing from behind. Right. Yeah, I said I was gonna explain it on the reference, but I don't know. I think it's just something to remember. Yeah, you can see it. Let me zoom in. See how we have this line here, and then you can see the toes behind it. Right? Is that? I hope that's clear to see. So we got this, and then I guess it's toe 3, 4, and 5. They're like behind this line. All right, and I guess you can say that's the reason that I do that. All right, moving on. All right. It's like a 3/4. Well, if you've been noticing, I've been drawing by I draw the ankle, then the top of the foot, and then the toes, and then I kind of fill in the rest afterwards. Alright, again, I'm not going to do this angle. Oh, you should probably do it, just for practice. But for the sake of this video, time-wise. Right, 5 more to go. Okay, so now we've got some back views of the foot to see if anything changes. So on this side we get the opportunity now to draw that sole shape. Right, so don't get too fussed about the exact shape. Alright, done. Now let's draw. You know what I'm doing here if you watch my leg video. Right, you can see it clearly. But I won't draw the full shape. Just a slight indication. I think I drew the heel too high, but that is okay. It's pretty tough. Remember the pads I mentioned earlier? So I can kind of indicate it a bit. Okay, breakdown. All right. Okay, and then the other one. I feel like I made that a bit too... move on. All right, that looks fine to me. Move on. All right, so yeah, just keep doing these and work on getting good at that shoe shape. Okay, time to draw. The tip from a taco, right? So the feet have you know, this sort of shape, and so we're gonna see from this view, we'll see the pinky side of the front of the foot, but we won't really see much of the toe side, okay, because it has this shape, right, going down to the pinkies over here, and then kind of straight into the toes, and then from there they kind of have that shape where this is like the second toe. Okay. Okay. Okay, 2 more to go. Okay, we've done this in the last one, so I won't do it again. Alright, I did this on the wrong layer. So that's fine. Okay, the last one. tough angles here. So see this, the pinky toe over here? I can see it's like in front of the top of the foot. So that's why I've done this. Right, so the top of the foot is like that. And that pinky toe, I guess the joint is in front. So that's why I did that. Right, always looking for those T-lines. Don't like that. we'll stop there. Yeah, I hope that was helpful to watch me do it, and I hope the the breakdown is useful with just the 3 parts, and the use of T lines. I was getting messy. Yeah, I hope that was useful, to watch me do it and see my simple breakdown. And I mean, really, this is learning for me as well, since I'm not an expert on foot anatomy. However, I like to find ways to simplify it as much as I can. And yeah, so you can see the way I draw feet. Right, I don't think too much about the toes or any complex anatomy. I actually remember when I was studying the feet, I was watching modern day James's videos, and he was going through like all the every single bone of the foot. And now I just look back at that, and it's well, it hasn't been much use to me. So I just want to pass on this to you, so you don't have to go and study all the bones when it's not really necessary. You just need the essential foot shape. Let's use shape. And if you can master that in different angles, you are good. Okay, so make really good use of Taco's notes. I've learned so much in the last week from these notes. It's definitely improved my drawings of feet. Alright, so in the next video I will be going over the arms, and then after that I'll do the hands, and then I don't think I've really got into the neck, so I'll probably make a short video about that. Yeah, I'll be doing arms next. Probably do another figure drawing session perhaps. Yeah, lots of figure drawing content, and just do breakdowns. Do breakdowns like I have. Find pictures on Pinterest, wherever you can find them. Oh, before I go, we are having a head drawing challenge for April in the Discord. So if you want to take part in that, feel free to join. Right? It won't just be draw realistic heads. It can be any heads you want. I wrote the details in there, so definitely check it out. Yeah. Until next time. Bye bye.